Students, good morning. Hope everything's good out there in Logan Elm District. Hope everything's good with you. I miss you. Hope you're doing well. I wanted to do a brief video right now about the different Bible translations, simply because we'll be doing a Bible study, and I'll actually make that video here in a few minutes. But first, it might be weird if you're not aware of why there are different Bible translations, because I'll be reading from a translation, and if you're reading along, the words might not be the same, and you might be confused. So I want to solve that confusion. Here's the deal. There are many different Bible translations of the copies of the original text. We don't have any of the original texts. We have copies of those original texts. I'm not going to get into all the information, all the facts about how we know those copies are accurate. If you're curious about that stuff, let me know, and maybe we can make a video on that, or I can direct you to people who know better than I about that information, who can explain that stuff better. But what I can tell you is we have many different translations. I prefer what's called the New American Standard. It's its own translation. This is a New Living Translation, NLT. This is an ESV, English Standard Version. Of course, you have the King James Version. You have the New King James. So you have a bunch of different translations. New International Standard, or I'm sorry, New International Version, the NIV. It's pretty popular. There are kind of two schools of thought when it comes to translation. You can either do the most accurate word-for-word translation, or you can do what's called a dynamic equivalent translation. That school of thought says, let's take a phrase of the original text, translate that into modern English, and then let's look at the next phrase and translate that phrase into modern English. So that's going to be your New Living Translation, your NLT. That's going to be your NIV, okay? So that's more phrase by phrase. It's easier to understand. That's the benefit to that. The drawback is if you want to quibble about specific words like I do, that's not going to be your best bet, because again, it's not accurate. It's not the most accurate word-for-word translation, but it's much easier to understand. I prefer New American Standard and New King James because they are the most accurate word-for-word translation. And English Standard Version is up there, but New American Standard, New King James Version are my favorites. But if you're sitting at home and you don't have a Bible, or you have an old Bible, or you have a Precious Moments Bible, and you just feel silly when you read it, there's nothing wrong with Precious Moments Bibles. There's nothing wrong with King James versions, but it's difficult to understand. If you want a Bible of your own, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, here buddy, you want to be in this video? Come here. Fellowship of Christian Athletes, we have Bibles. We have this Bible exactly. This is an old version, but it's what's called a study Bible. So you have the I don't know if you can see this, but it's got the text up here, and then it's got study notes down here to explain some of the things in the actual text, and that's why it's so big compared to this guy, which is called a thin line Bible. But if you want a Bible, we'll give you a Bible. Whoa, mama. We have these. I will give you this. We'll put your name in the front, and we'll be off to the races. Just shoot me a text on Remind and say, hey, Mr. Fort, I want a Bible, and I can take it to one of the Logan Elm schools. I can leave it in the high school office if you want to come pick it up. That's super easy. Just let me know. Many people in the community have donated money so that students can have a Bible of their own that they can read and that they can understand. So just let me know, and we will hook you up. All right, talk to you soon. Bye.